Hello, everyone. Welcome into It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. The guys are here. Everybody is together today. Hello, Cameron Riley. How you doing?
Hello, Sybil. Hello, Damon. I'm feeling good. How are you all doing?
That would be the sun-kissed Damon Williams, fresh off his cruise. How you doing, sir?
Fantastic. Glad to be back, and I'll be able to hang out for the entire duration because I'm back home. Yeah. What's up, peoples?
How you
Welcome back.
doing?
I'm great, man. It's the cruise was great. A lot of great performances, excellent people, and then I'm coming home to my city winery celebration on Thursday, and it sold out last week.
Oh,
So yeah, that's a
awesome.
blessing. And
That's awesome.
then Griff is coming to town this weekend, so I'm gonna have
All
a
right.
ball.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's gonna be so much fun.
That's crazy.
I'm
That's
resting my ears now.
right, because his voice. Damon.
Dang,
Right.
dang, you changed my career because I had him come to a show in Milwaukee and he was cussing so much and he said the B word every 5 seconds and he was like talking to this lady in the front row and she was the major sponsor of the show, so she pulled her sponsorship after Griff. So I had to tell him like, man, you gotta be careful with that.
Hmm.
And then I looked up and he's a gospel comedian on the gospel show and going
Right,
to
right.
Africa
He went 180 degrees, didn't
all
he?
the way
Yeah,
180.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I am on the Erica Campbell show, Get Up Mornings with Erica with Griff, every Tuesday morning. And Griff has like he gives the best hugs. And I know you're not supposed to say this in the Me Too generation, but they were across the hall from us for the last couple of years of the Joyner Show, and he is one of the most delightful personalities. So not just because it's Griff, but because it's Damon's club, Riddles, in suburban Chicago, and it's Griff. Get out there to see them if you can. While Damon is celebrating and celebrating well, if you're not there at the City Winery, get to Riddles and join them there. Yeah,
Hey man, let's have
absolutely.
fun. It's
Yeah,
all
Absolutely.
about the fun.
It's
sounds.
always about the fun. Absolutely. Well, we're glad you're back. Glad you had a good time. Cameron, anything new going on with you?
Oh,
Well, you make it sound like, where do I start?
Right.
um,
Lots.
I
Like,
received
hey.
I received some more professional feedback from coronary artery. I kind of crossed out the names of the theater companies when I posted it on my Instagram, but um, they were all very. I'm sorry. The wording on this one was, Cameron, we were very compelled by
Mm,
coronary artery. They felt compelled, and
wow.
they wanted to write me a narrowly tailored reply, not like a thank you for uh, applying thing. But they said that they are big fans of mine and that they are rooting for me. However, it does not fit into their season four. I mean, for
Mhm.
all I know, their season four could be, the trials and tribulations of hippopotamuses
Mhm.
in Savannah. So, um, but I'm glad that they enjoyed it and that the play is getting some good professional feedback.
That's awesome. That really is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said. And sometimes when you pitch these things, when you submit, you really don't know what the season theme is. And so you luck out if they can find a fit for it, but the way they responded, that's definitely something good to work on.
Yeah, and Audible is taking a select group of plays and transferring them into radio plays. And I think that this one would be a pretty good fit. So I am going to apply for this. And I mean, hey, if my play makes it on Audible, I will definitely be letting you all know. So
Excellent.
please keep me in your prayers. Pray over coronary artery, and hope somebody at Audible really understands what this red line train is like.
And you never know. Someone that saw it right now may not be in a position to
Mhm.
place it where you need it, but the work remains forever. For one,
True.
and for two, you never know where it's going to land. You'll look up and out of nowhere, that thing will blow up. So just keep the faith and keep pushing and get to your next thing, man, and keep it working.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Our friend Kim Whitley, as a matter of fact, has a radio deal. It's a podcast deal with Audible. and it is based loosely upon her life, but with comedic touches, as you might expect. And she's gotten a lot of great play from this. And Audible is really, I mean, podcasts and that sort of thing is really the way to go. And so I wish you a lot of luck. As a matter of fact, I think it was Variety that named her podcast, and I think it's called Kim, is one of the 10 best podcasts the Variety named this year. So good on you, and I wish you a lot of luck on that. And I love that idea. I love radio plays, obviously. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. All right, Khameron, let's talk about your daytime job, not with the newsletter so much, but at the University of Illinois at Circle Campus. How are things there these days?
Teachers are back. Chancellor reached a deal, which I am very thankful for, and they have agreed on several supports for students. The main thing in this was that professors needed a place to send students to when students are in a crisis. And, you know, rounding the bend of the pandemic, who's not in a crisis now?
Yeah.
But really good professors go above and beyond for their students. And we need a proper wellness center with all of these necessary supports, a place where students can be seen immediately now, today, to get them the mindfulness and mental health interventions that they properly need. And not to mention, you know, just keeping it honest here, a lot of the professors at UICU are making 30% below the average of what a professor makes via salary, and that doesn't quite keep up with these times of inflation that we're in, this sort of quasi recession. And shout out to the interim chancellor for getting the professors what it is that they need. And I know from being the man on the inside, a couple of my professorate friends were looking forward to having a bit longer of a vacation, but they are, of course, happy to be back, no matter what.
Right.
Biscuits are ready.
Actually, it's my next door neighbor talking about food. Thank you very much. I have updated my phone, and I'm not sure what ringer is on or off. I apologize for that, everyone. So, Khameron, let's talk about.
Okay. I thought it was me. I was like, oh.
No. Let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter, and we are super serving the African American community, as Damon, as you know, as we have done for years with Tom Joyner, and talk about the stories that really are about and for Black people. Khameron is our political contributor, and he has given us a story. And so tell us, Khameron, what does the research tell you about how Black folks are feeling about racial inequality and other related topics?
Yeah, Sybil, I like to think that you also get a kick out of these occasional studies that come through Pew Research Center, and of course the occasional Ellipsis poll. And Pew Research pretty much polled 4,000 Black adults, asking them the different ways that they believe that we should overcome. And Damon, you know, the question is never should we overcome. It's more of a how should we overcome.
It's like, hell yeah, we should, but how are we going to do it? Right.
Right. So we are very split on how should we do it. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet, but more than 6 in 10 Black adults say that voting is extremely important. 58% believe that supporting Black-owned businesses is the way, and 40% believe contacting elected officials is the way. 39% of Black adults say that Black Lives Matter has done the most for improving racial equity. 17% say that that's the NAACP, and my friend who works for the NAACP is probably laughing her butt off right now. Mm-hmm. And as far as they also asked them kind of like a few curveballs. They asked them if establishing a completely Black political party would be the way for us to overcome and 31% agreed to that. They asked, should Black officials govern Black neighborhoods? 27% agreed to that. They asked them, should all businesses in Black neighborhoods be Black owned? 39% agreed to that. Some of the good things was that 54% of Black people believe that the prison system needs a complete overhaul. And 42% of us agree that white people could be considered political allies, but only if they experience the same hardships as we do. And I don't know if I want to sentence white people to 400 years of economic retribution.
Well, I don't know that they would stand for it. It wasn't so bad, but hell no, I'm not going there.
And we don't need any disgruntled white people on our side. We saw how they act January 6th. So
right. Yeah.
They've got enough disgruntlement, if I can use that word. We don't need to add to it. You're absolutely right, Damon. Damon, I think that this points to, and Khameron, correct me if your interpretation of this is that we are not all a universal community. We all don't think the same. We don't vote the same, obviously. We don't buy the same cars and take the same family trips and things like that. So this is what it's shown. But how do you take all of this and do the most good for people as a result of the various communities and neighborhoods and thoughts and schools of thought?
Yeah. Well, I think, first of all, we should own all the liquor stores in the hood.
I do think that.
To be honest, and I'm joking, but I'm serious. This cannabis explosion should have some inclusion for us as a people. I mean, so many of our people have suffered from the prosecution of the usage of marijuana and such. Mm-hmm. So that's a reparations issue as far as that criminal justice system is concerned. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think Black-owned business and Black-owned economic base is something that we lack based on integration. I mean, there were Black communities that were fully Black-owned businesses and we were thriving, but we wanted to integrate and be accepted. And once we learned that white acceptance does not mean progress, then we might be better off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there are like a lot of people that celebrate the diversity of thought among Black people. And I think that, that's how we grow, difference of opinion. That's how we sharpen ourselves as people. But I do think that there are some things that we definitely do need to agree on, especially because for the past 8 to 10 years, Black people have been at the height of their political power that we've ever been able to imagine.
So does that mean we got a Black president? Are you including that?
Black president, Black vice president, LA or California is essentially ran by Black women, and they're getting a lot of stuff done over there. But I would just hope that we come to consensus on what a few of these things mean. Like, what does community policing mean? Right. Does that only mean people from your community policing your community? The liquor store thing is a great idea because, like, imagine the kind of compassion that we would have for one another if we knew exactly who sold it to them at what time and where. Mm-hmm. I hope that we can, in the future, come to a consensus of how we move forward in some ways.
So you have this research. Who's going to start the job of coalescing and having the discussions? Where do we go from here?
Well,
is it Kamala Harris? Is it Hakeem Jeffries? Is it Mayor Lori Lightfoot? That was a joke. That was a joke.
It's gonna be Willie Wilson, damn it.
That's where I was going.
I'm with Willie.
And he's gonna track you down like a chicken. So
right, or a rabbit.
That's right. So Khameron, excuse the jokes, but really, I mean, it's great information to have, but where do we go from here?
Yeah, I think that we are beyond the times of charismatic leaders. I think that what we need is just a multi-generational, you know, just a multi-generational convening of various community leaders who are willing to kind of hash out the details. And I also think that we need to acknowledge that the way the system is designed is to get us to compete against one another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always easier if we just collaborate on some things. And sure, maybe that involves one of us kind of taking a dive in the short run, but in the long run, if we all win as people, as Damon mentioned, our economic buying power. Black people have a lot of economic buying power in this country.
Mm-hmm.
If we just leverage some point of our power as a united people, what does that look like? Just some point of that.
Yeah.
And I think what separates us from the brown community is that no matter what, and they do have a different opinions as well, but they always have some sort of united ethnic view. They have a united view as what it means to be Mexican, and we still have yet to have a united view of what it means to be Black.
Yep. I mean, that hits the hit, and I think it's going to be determined, or the success of it will come from the youth. If we look at what happened in the civil rights era, those were young
Right.
people,
Yeah.
were young, energetic people who made a difference and changed the world. And now, the old guard is not flexible. And so I think young mayors around the country, young governors, young senators, and Congress people are the answer for our political situation. But to get the average man, we got to get back in the barbershops and the hair salons and go grassroots and really get a movement started from the bottom up. And because we're so based on consumerism and competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about flossing and out flossing each other. And as long as we have that mentality, we will not succeed unless we out floss each other, buying each other's our own products and goods and services.
Yeah.
And that's not a reality because we don't hold our own brands in high esteem as we do other brands. So it's an
Their
uphill
ice
battle.
is colder.
Yeah, and their G's are better if they Gucci. It's
Right.
like it's ridiculous. So we got to stop looking down on our own and really start to value ourselves. And I think it's going to be a whole generation later before that even can become a reality.
I think this is a great jumping off point, Khameron. I hope that we can return to this through your writing and through other discussions, perhaps, about, one of the things that you have done in introducing us to people who are community organizers in the interviews that you brought to It's Sybil is that they're young people, they're bright, they're energetic. And Damon, I wish you had been here for a little bit more of these young women to tell about how they got started and there at the University of Illinois and how things are. One of the things that I was most surprised, Khameron, is what a small Black community it is at the University of Illinois, Chicago.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
That's kind of startling because I remember as a kid, a lot of people went to
Right. Oh, circle. And
Yeah. Well, I was there. I was there to hear some of their stories, like when you say it was only 3,000 African American students on campus, and what made the one young lady decide to start the Black Student Union was because there was no place for Blacks to go when they had problems and issues. So that is the mindset, and that is the generation that I think that can make a difference because they are so bright and so informed to a level that we were never informed because we took the status quo of the information fed us and believed that that's who we are and where we come from, and they are not having it. The woke is woke, seriously.
Right. And the woke terminology has been corrupted so by white politicians like Ron DeSantis and other conservatives that it makes me so angry. And we need to grab back some of the words such as the N-word that a lot of white people feel that they have license to use, or wokeness. We need to grab that back because what they're doing is providing a trigger for other conservatives who don't like Black people and Black politics and Black progression. And to use a word which okay, I can't speak for anybody else, but which I think is one that inspires and lifts us up. And to use that as a negative thing and tell people, we're not going to have any of that woke talk or conversation here, not in my state.
Right.
That makes me really angry.
I mean, if you take the blackout, lives matter has become negative. I
Yeah.
mean, how can lives matter? Anything you say before lives matter should not make that a negative connotation, but lives matter. So our lives matter, Black lives matter, our children matter, lives matter. It's become a negative thing. So those Black lives matter people, but that's the oldest trick in the book, and they've been doing it from the beginning. And they still have us in the belief that we're the minority, when in actuality, if we were to unite as a people, across the globe, then we truly outnumber them and have more economic power and resources than anyone. So
Yeah, a few academics have taken to use that term. They don't use underrepresented anymore. They say people of the global majority to describe Black people. And I'm like, oh yeah, I might start using that too. But that is a little radical. People don't want to hear that.
I hope that we've run out of time for the segment. I hope that people will take a look at Khameron's story as well as the other stories that are in the What You Need to Know newsletter. I talked about the violence that was rampant across the country and an area that you don't hear much about in the Asian community, especially, and not just once, but an attempted second attempt and then a third try in which more people of immigrant status were murdered. And this was by two Asian shooters, and how what's going on there. So I hope you'll take a look at that. And the other stories, of course, we have social justice and coronavirus and things like that. Little known Black history fact, as well as the HBCU corner. Please go to SybilWilkes.com to sign up to subscribe to the newsletter. It'll be in your email box every Monday through Friday morning, first thing, and it's absolutely free. So thank you very much.
And that's how you know we got too many guns in this country, when old senseis are shooting up people. I mean,
yeah, what?
It's crazy in this country right now. We out of control, man. You never heard about Asians even using guns, first of all.
Damon, 71, 72 years old and 67 years old.
Crazy. Banana.
So let's talk about what's trending. Let's talk and put that in the what's trending there.
Well, let's get karate trending so they can stop shooting.
Yeah, come on, man. Suspend this master splinter.
I'm sorry. Come on. I'm sorry, sir. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Wax on, wax off. Whatever happened to that?
What happened to that? Right.
That's all I'm saying.
So, Khameron, what were you saying?
Oh, nothing. No, let's move
on. When was the last time that you heard police say that they were going to investigate a shooter who killed himself and they were going to survey his home at a senior citizens community center? I've never heard that. Not in all my days in the news business. That's what they were doing with the man who shot people and killed people in Monterey Bay, California, Saturday night.
Wow. That's where we are.
Yeah, this is what.
Like, I wonder, I don't know what Asian category they fall in, Japanese, Chinese, or whatever they were, but I wonder how many shootings like that have taken place in their homelands. Probably zero.
Right. Yeah. Right. And the fact is they got the components to build these weapons, to make them assault weapons, as it were. This wasn't something apparently that they had the technical wherewithal to build these, to create the weapons to go out and shoot the people the way that they did.
Wow.
And Khameron talks about the attempt to pass an assault weapons ban in the Wednesday, in the next day of our newsletter. So check that out as well. I really do want to talk about trending, and I know I'm going to get killed for this, but moving on, because this is something that's trending. Less than 1 month into 2023, the United States has already seen 39 mass shootings. 39 in less than 30 days. And that is from the Gun Violence Archive, and more than 60 people have been killed in these attacks. averaging about 2 per mass shooting. Yesterday, when we were on the air, I not only talked about California, in which a young man took on the older shooter and prevented another mass shooting perhaps from taking place. Then it was at a had to do at a flower and growing center, a green
Right.
center, in which people were killed. And this was a big family outdoor organization, and it was has something to do, they think, with some disagreements at the green center. Um, in Chicago, there was a shooting on the South Side and South Shore. It was a home invasion in which 2 people were killed, others were injured, and one man who was injured managed to escape and go and call the police. In Washington State, there was a shooting, a lot going on the West Coast, right? In Yakima, Washington, a shooting that took place, and in Louisiana, on the other side, there was a shooting Saturday night, Sunday morning at a club and dance club, in which they say that this was a targeted shooting. It's it just boggles the mind. It just boggles my mind that we have all of these ways of communicating and of coming together to talk things out, or to, I don't even want to use another weapon. But what happened to carrying a knife and just pulling a knife on someone? Well, that's dangerous enough too. But whatever happened to 315? We don't.
Right. I mean, what happened to the compassion that the world should have experienced after coming through the lockdown?
Yeah.
Like, you would think that everybody would treat life more precious and have more respect and appreciation for life. But here we are, and this is what we are and what we become. And it's scary because it's so random. I mean, workplace shootings, schools, churches, synagogues, it's
Right.
so you would figure places you could go to avoid these circumstances, a parade, a Christmas parade, it's
Come
just,
on.
it's out of control.
And they were celebrating the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. They were, people were talking about getting up on Sunday, and they were getting their kids ready for the parades and things and all the celebrations. And they hear that the shooting is taking place at a very popular dance hall club. This is where this man who was the shooter met his wife. He was an instructor. How angry does a dance instructor have to be? Come on, I'm thinking like, who
Denny
among the
Terrio would
guys
never, is all I'm trying to say. Leroy from
among the
Fame would
Dancing with the
never.
Stars? Come on, would think to pick up a gun?
It's right there. Right. The worst should happen in the dance studios. You get a stiletto to the eye from dude. But but come on, man. I don't. It's too soon. I know, but it's mind-boggling to the point where you got to laugh to keep from crying in these circumstances because it's so bizarre and so out there.
That's right.
That's the most peaceful place you would expect would be a dance studio.
Come
Right.
on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Whatever happened to shake your groove thing and leave your troubles outside? Come on, get happy.
Man.
It's like, I don't know.
It's bad.
Uh,
Fame, I want to live forever. No.
Okay. I do want to remind people, Damon has talked about what he's got coming up, the City Winery. Remind people again, Damon, about your anniversary at City Winery and what else also is happening at Riddles.
Just forget about City Winery because I can't stuff another body in that building.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody. Don't come down there. Don't even come. I know my cousin. Don't come down. I just told my mama it'd be all right if she stay home. I'm calling it the anniversary, but it's just a comedy show, mama. But my son is actually hosting. So he'll be hosting and performing. And but we're gonna take the overflow to Riddles this weekend with Griff and Lady Red from Soul 106 Chicago, and all the comedians will be out there hanging out. So DamonWilliamsComedy.com, I always keep you informed on what's going on with me. The following weekend, I'm going to DC. They have a place called the Comedy Loft, and I'll be there Thursday through Saturday for those shows. So Yeah, Chicago's it's been really great. My birthday weekend went crazy, and now the City Winery, and then we'll see what happens with Riddles, and then summer will come, and all the proceeds will keep us afloat from this because nobody comes indoors in the shows in the summertime. So
Right.
I'm enjoying it while I can.
Absolutely. And are you making plans for the vineyard again this summer?
The Vineyard, yes, Kim Whitley just signed on to come back. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. Dominique will be there with us this year.
Nice.
That's going to be great. So that will probably go on sale very soon here at Martha's Vineyard Comedy Fest.com. Like when I hang up, we're trying to talk to a couple of more comedians and get them locked in. So yeah, that's a definite. And it's a week extra. The last week of July it starts. And my man Steve Capers is actually doing
Oh, nice.
a kickoff to the fest at the Howard Theater on the Howard campus in July. And then we make our way to the Vineyard.
Go up there. That's
We,
nice.
and we get to take the dogs, I think, this time because Steve has a cottage.
Oh,
Yeah, because the rental properties don't allow the pets. So that's the only
crazy.
thing. Yeah, that's the only thing that'll keep us there for the 4 weeks. So my wife, she
Won't
couldn't
get
take
back.
it last year.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cruise killed her. So
That is so cool. That's awesome. That's great stuff.
yep, that's a mouthful, but it's all there.
Good for you. All right.
Thanks.
For folks who are in the DC area, don't forget to join Chris Paul and friends Wednesday night at the DC Improv. That is right there on, is it Connecticut Avenue, Constitution? But yeah, Chris is going to be there with all of his buddies. He said he can't name them because he'd have to pay him more. But he's going to be
Oh,
there.
that's this Wednesday.
Yeah. Like
Oh
tomorrow.
man, I love those guys. Hopefully they're around when I'm in town. Definitely
Yeah.
want to see those guys.
For sure.
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to get some weather. I mean, we always have weather, but you're supposed to get some bad weather in Chicago. Snow is expected, and they're forecasting, calling for an accumulation, hazardous travel conditions, and snow is expected to fall through much of the day Wednesday. Accumulations ranging from an inch north of the city to 4 inches or more to the south. It's always
They overhyping that. That's 4 inches. Come on now. When have we ever gotten excited about 4 inches of anything?
And we're still talking about weather. Okay. A deadly snowstorm.
Have you ever felt threatened by 4 inches, Sybil?
And tried not to laugh? Yes.
Yeah, you live here your whole life. 4 inches never scared you at all.
That's
Yeah.
nothing. What else you got?
Right.
Back there.
Turn the movie back on. I really did come for the Netflix. Yeah, turn that movie back on. I'd rather watch Sounder.
Snowstorms already on the northeast coast. Treacherous travel and power outages there. A number of accidents throughout New England, including Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and tornadoes in Texas today, in Pasadena, Texas, near Houston. And so the Houston metro area, the National Weather Service declared a rare tornado emergency. No immediate word on injuries, but the damage was substantial, as we got to see. And so please check on your folks in Houston the way I have with my friend Stephanie.
Yeah, I've heard New Orleans might get some bad weather as well.
Yeah, and
I got people out there now. So
right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly right. We do not have enough time to talk about the Oscar nominations, but once again, starting a new hashtag, Oscars so clueless. Not only were they very white, but they were not full white out, but the nominees, the nominators were very clueless. Critically acclaimed films by and about Black people were ignored by those making the nominations, including Viola Davis for The Woman King, as well as her director. That is Gina Prince Bythewood, as well as Till the movie. Nothing there. But the good news is that Miss Angela Bassett got her second supporting actress nomination for the second time in 29 years. The last time she was nominated was for her role as Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It.
She was a supporting actress in What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah, go figure.
That's the most ironic thing I've heard.
That's
Well,
crazy.
the whole
Oh
nomination.
no,
I
I'm
know
sorry. She was Best Actress. I'm sorry, Best
yeah,
Actress.
yeah.
This is her
That's the
second
second
nomination,
nomination. Yeah,
and
of
this
course.
is for supporting actress in Black Panther.
But I mean, we know the reason. I mean, we got to blame Will Smith. They don't want you Negroes at the Oscars this year. It's just that simple. We gave you a chance, and you acted a damn fool. And the best among you, your kindest Negro, snapped out. So we don't want you Negroes at the Oscars this year. Go to the NAACP Image Awards.
Right.
Go
But you're
elsewhere.
coming up. Yeah.
We don't want you Negroes at the Oscars this year.
And there's so many good movies.
They're not even gonna play black music this year. It's not happening.
No.
That's what happened when you have a DJ at the Oscars. See, it's our fault. They turned the Oscars into a club, and now there's a dress code
Right.
and discrimination bouncers at the nomination table.
There you go.
It's all Will's fault.
Dang, Will Smith, and I was still trying to stay on your side.
Yeah, Will.
But for the good news, she made history. This is Angela Bassett made superhero cinema history as the first woman, the first person of color, and the first Marvel Studios actor to be nominated for an Academy Award for their performance in a comic book adaptation. The first woman, Black person. It's her second Oscar nomination, as you said, Damon, for Best Actress for Tina Turner. And while her nomination breaks several other Oscar barriers, Wakanda Forever failed to equal no Best Picture nomination, nothing for Ryan Coogler, except for as a part of the Best Song, which got a nomination for Lift Me Up. That is, of course, Rihanna, Ryan Coogler, Thames, and Ludwig Göransson, and Camille Friend and Joel Harlow for makeup and hairstyling, and the ever wonderful Ruthie Carter nominated again for costume design. But the rest, it's such a pain. It hurts me that these people gave such incredible performances, did great directing jobs, and didn't get their just due. But support them when they, don't buy from somebody else, like you used to do, and don't borrow somebody's Netflix passcode. Pay for it and let's give them their support in some way or another, in streaming or not. So
yeah, but then again, it falls back to my whole statement about us wanting white acceptance, because we celebrate our people and we celebrate ourselves.
Right. You're right.
And we should be excited when you get an Image Award, and we should be excited when you get the BET Awards and things of that nature, because that's your own people giving you validation. But we still feel like our work is worthy of the big one. But
right.
Yeah, but there was a time when we couldn't even attend those awards, so why should we want to win those awards?
Yeah. Right. Think about back in the day when Gone with the Wind and Butterfly McQueen won, and they were not televised, obviously, but just to hear that a Black woman won, and it's crazy. But you're right. You are absolutely right, Damon. We have to lift up our own awards, and so we will do that. Absolutely. Yes. We're going to kind of flip things and ask the question of the day. And so what's really going on? And this is a question that you hear a lot of people ask this a lot of times. Some people have written books with this as the theme. But what would you, if you could go back to talk to your younger self, what would you tell yourself from back in the day? Like, if it's a personal situation regarding a relationship, if it's work, if it's, how much money you need to make. Like we were talking last week, people said that they would tell themselves would tell younger people, start your 401k as early as you can. What's the one thing that you wish somebody had told you, your young 15-year-old, 16, 17-year-old self, that you would like to share with someone else?
Nike and Microsoft and Apple stock early.
Right.
But more so, I would like to just go back and tell myself not to worry. It's going to work out. Mm-hmm. You could give yourself advice in hindsight, but to give yourself peace of mind and say, don't worry, you're going to turn out okay.
It's going to be okay. Yeah. It may not be exactly as you planned it, but that's the beauty of the journey. Exactly. It's going to be all right. Yeah.
But I would also journal. I hate that I have not
Oh,
journaled
yeah.
throughout my life, and it's a lot of things that people come up to me and have conversation with me about, and I be like, really? No. Must have had a lot of weed that week. You telling me I did? Yeah. So yeah, journaling would be, everybody should journal from a young age going forward. But financially, yes, get you a life insurance policy as early as possible. Whole life that grows in value, because it's like your own bank and you can borrow from it, and it accumulates value and such. And the younger you are, the better the terms are. So insure your kids, and right now people that have the opportunity to give that advice to a younger person, that's an industry that we sleep on. I think Oprah is known for her wanting
Journaling.
and having as much life insurance because of the value of it. So
And for
that's me.
journaling, she always,
Yeah.
talks about how she can, going back and telling her story, she can always go back to her journals and
Oh,
and,
well,
and
there you
get
go.
really detailed records. Khameron, are you a journaler?
Yeah. Remember, David?
Yeah. Yeah, he has a trio of journals.
Right.
He got the one for the chicks.
Dear journal.
Never buy another ticket on Spirit to see her. It's not worth it.
That happened a bit. Yeah.
But go ahead, tell your story, bro.
What would you tell your younger self?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I could always be practical and tell myself something that could accumulate as much wealth as humanly possible. But I think I would just tell myself to just to start lifting sooner, because when I had achieved like peak physical fitness, I was surprised by how strong I could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
And I always imagine, like, man, like, what happened if I had started like a year sooner, 2 years sooner? Where would I be? And so I would tell myself to just kind of just like fall in love with fitness a little bit sooner. Of course, in the pandemic, I just like abstained from going to the gym, but definitely like to get into fitness a whole lot sooner.
Well, the beauty of it for you is you're still young. So
exactly.
Tell you now.
Okay. Tell yourself and believe it.
Right. And write it down in your journal. Okay, dear journal. If I did more push-ups, I could do more push-ups.
Wink, wink, and put the wink, wink in there in parentheses.
She'll never tell me to turn sounder back on.
Because when she comes over for the Netflix, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was reminded in having this discussion, someone said that she got a look at a picture of her old self, like as a young girl, and how beautiful she was. She had a great body and things like that. And I'm thinking, yeah, me too. And I did not appreciate it. I had that body that, that I want now. But because the school that I went to and the girls I hung out with, it was not the typical, if there is such a thing, but the typical white girl body. I had a black woman's body as a young girl, and so
you got some pictures.
There's some pictures out there, Damon. I gotta tell you. But it's amazing how you just what you don't see, you don't see.
Right.
Dysmorphia is certainly a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really is. And so enjoy. And this is what I always say, especially now, and I tried to do this during the final years of the Joiner Show. Be present.
Very important.
Be present, whether it is taking notes and journaling on what happened, or just really taking in the moments.
Yep. Make your days count.
Yeah, make them count.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to Two Funny Mamas podcast, and they were doing an interview with the widow of David A. Arnold, Julie Arnold, and they have a lot of things, video, because David was big on Instagram and things like that.
Right.
So they have a lot of these memories. So that's great for them. But for those of us that don't have it, take it all in and just kind of revel in the moment. It may not be the greatest moment you have, but it really can serve a purpose of the totality of your life.
Indeed. And you don't know what moment is your last moment with all this
Right.
volatility out here. So yeah, moments matter, and
Moments
live
matter.
them, live them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Yolanda, do we have responses for people who are watching and listening out there? Oh, our friend Michael Stallworth, get out in the world, move and meet new people. The world is much bigger than home and private school. Amen, brother. Okay, get out in the world. I received that, Michael. I think you're absolutely right. And one of the things that that I want to get back to, which Damon, you have exemplified, and you and your wife have been been good, stalwarts in leading us to see the world, because you all aren't just sitting at the house, and through this, what we do can take this other places and work and do, the business that we need to do, but can also take it elsewhere. And your partner in all of this, your business partner, Jada Davis, is a great example of that, of seeing the world.
Yes, indeed. Travel is life, and it's not as expensive as people might think if you plan it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be an exotic long trip, but to go somewhere different. Anytime Southwest has a $49 fare, grab one of those and just go to Albuquerque or wherever it takes you, and spend a day or two and go to a cafe and go to a museum or a waterfront or a marina, which I always love to find the water, and just enjoy and explore, and get on back home,
Right.
because things don't matter, but memories last. Sometimes we get caught up, like you buy a purse, ladies, you're gonna carry that purse a few times, then it's that purse that everybody saw. As far as this memory, it stays with you. So
although
that's just my philosophy.
I got a couple of purses of life that still get a lot of play and a lot of compliments. So
if you buy the right one, well, look where you got it though. Hey, look where you got it. All right.
Yeah, South Africa. There you go.
Yeah.
So Renita Bland, love myself more. Look at you. Yes, on Facebook.
Literally.
Yes. Okay. Until you get somebody else to do the job.
Can't be with the one you love the one you with.
Oh, come on. Renita, I hope that you take your advice to your younger self and really, because you're the best person that you know.
It's never too late.
Absolutely. Candace Holmes on YouTube learned Spanish in high school. See. I would like to. I took French and Spanish, but I wish I had the opportunity to learn Italian, because that's really what I want to do, is to travel Italy and do one of those. We've done Italy a couple of times, but to do one of those eating and learning how to cook tours up and down the coast. So.
I just want to go around people that speak foreign languages just so I can make sure they ain't talking smack. David, you didn't know I knew this, did you? Yeah, I heard what you said.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever laughed when they laugh and go, and they look at you like?
Right, you got you. Yeah, I don't do the housekeeping laugh, because they just laugh and they don't know what the hell you just said. They be like, yeah.
Soap.
All right, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, my pipes are bursted.
Yeah. Okay.
Another towel. Yeah. No, I just would hate. I don't like being around people where I can't understand what they're saying, like, because they could be talking about you. You know what I mean? So I would love to be able to just like, aha, you didn't know I knew that, did you? Or even in a positive sense, to be able to communicate with people in their language. Travels. You go to a place. Spanish should be I think my wife is doing Duolingo. It's an app. Yeah, it just gives you new words every day and tests you at the end of the week or something like that. It's a free app. So I'm going to jump on there just so I can learn the basics. And I need to know how to say some of the bull, make sure how you say. Anyway, I'll leave it alone. I forgot we don't cuss anymore on the show.
Olivia Ferguson on Facebook. Oh, what the hell, Damon? I would tell my younger self to stay focused on my goals. Well, you look like you're young enough that you still got a lot of goals to fulfill, and so
Indeed.
I'm hoping that you are staying focused on those, because we should not just have a set of goals for one period of time. As we move along,
Indeed.
Khameron, I think you'll agree, as you are increasing your body of work, your goals continue to change and to grow.
Yeah, I believe that our gifts never leave us; they just change shape over time. Um,
Yep.
and that all of that is still in you. You haven't lost anything. Maybe you can't sing as good as you used to, but you can probably you can probably still like join.
But with Pro Tools, you may be able to sing better than ever.
But then there are people that get a little older, their voice becomes the little old lady. Like I was watching the Unsung, and I need to go say which artist because well, it was Jean Carr. Let me just say. She went from singing like "Don't let it go to your head" to "Don't let it go to your head."
Oh,
No.
yeah.
You get that that Negro spiritual voice, the hymns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, you guys. Thanks for participating. We appreciate it. And Damon, I don't know if you're warming up for the weekend at the City Winery, but folks, if you don't have your ticket, go scalp them and see our friend there, as he is just killing it tonight, as I said. All right,
yeah, I'm doing this performance sort of like a one-man show more than just jokes. I'm gonna be introspective and talk about be reminiscent and such, because I found out a lot of people that I know personally bought tickets. I'm like, well, y'all sell me already. Y'all ain't gonna make me work. I was just gonna come there and get these few dollars, tell a few jokes, but now I gotta really put some effort into it.
Now I gotta really do some stuff out there.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta write something. I gotta create. So that'd be fun.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I cannot wait. I hope that folks will let us know how great it is, because it will be. I know that.
Thank you.
Let's move to another form of entertainment. Babyface has been hired to sing "America the Beautiful" at Super Bowl 57 next month.
Oh.
The R&B legend says that he never expected in a million years he'd be tapped for that honor. That, of course, is something that a number of great R&B singers have done. And among them, Ray Charles, which is a song that they pull out every year. His song is in the Grammy Hall of Fame, I believe, his version of "America the Beautiful," his rendition, immortalized in the Grammy Hall of Fame. And of course, Faith says that his song speaks to his soul melodically, so he plans on putting together one of his classic Babyface arrangements. He'll even add some divine inspiration. He said the inspiration coming from his heroes, such as Ray Charles and Whitney did an incredible rendition of the American ballad. And so and he says his late brother Melvin, was a big football fan, so he'll be using him for that event as well. He isn't the only performer who's admitted to some pre-game jitters. Rihanna, of course, is going to be doing halftime, admitted to being a little nervous for her halftime show performance. And of course, the Super Bowl will be held Sunday, February 12th in Arizona. And Chicago Bear fans, whether you're watching or not, I'm not sure where you'll be, but you know where your team will be. They'll be.
We got to show at Riddles that night. I got TK Kirkland coming because.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it'll be after the game though. Shirley Ralph is singing something as well at the Super Bowl.
I understand. Yeah, and I'm really excited. This is her time. I'm so glad for her.
She's coming to her season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And she would tell her younger self, "You look good like this. Your lips."
Here.
Yeah.
Come here. The camera guy's going to go, okay.
They're going to pay for these lips one day.
And her husband's like, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but this is, and I love the way she speaks so passionately and gives advice to young people who are out there and trying to get in that business. She is one of a kind. We should try to get her back on, Yolanda. We haven't talked to her in a long time since the pandemic.
Yeah, but I would hate to be hungry at Thanksgiving and let her pray. I got a feeling that prayer gonna get the turkey cold, because she gets so passionate in there. And we hungry, Cheryl.
The stomach is growling like, let's warm up the microwave.
Don't let Shirley Ralph bless the food. That's all I'm telling you.
Let us close with the daily inspiration. Yogi's Jewels, a woman, a few words herself. You have the power to make the life that you want. Be open and creative. Okay, Khameron, these are for you. You have the power to make the life that you want. Be open and creative. You and Damon. So thank you,
Indeed.
guys. I appreciate you. It was a fun afternoon, and let's do it again soon, shall we?
Yeah, everybody keep safe in those weather conditions, even if it's only 4 inches. Proceed with caution.
Yeah. You know what 4 inches? That's
Hey,
nothing.
4 inches might sneak up on you. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh my God.
Never has before.